Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're looking back at a specific historical document.
That's right. We're digging into the 1992 shareholder letter from Markel.
Exactly. Markel, a company really known for its very thoughtful, long-term business approach. And our mission today isn't just to, skim a financial report.
No, definitely not.
We want to really dissect this blueprint, uncover those enduring business principles, find out how they navigated some serious challenges back then.
And see what you can take away from it, because these letters, especially from a company like Markel, they offer such a direct window into the thinking.
Yeah.
And 1992, that was a pretty pivotal year, wasn't it? Lots of industry challenges.
It really was.
So we'll try to connect the dots, between what they said and did then and the kind of timeless business wisdom that still holds up today.
Okay, let's unpack it then. When you first looked at this 1992 letter, what was the overall feeling, the tone? What jumped out about their priorities?
Well, what immediately jumps out is this unwavering commitment to what they called underwriting discipline.
Right.
And just a really clear focus on the long term. It's almost like the letter itself is trying to pull out these key nuggets for you.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid to push back against, the quick wins. Instead, it was all about controlling costs, sticking to that rigorous underwriting, and making sure management didn't get distracted from quality customer service.
So it's more than just the numbers. It's like a core philosophy.
Exactly. A foundational ethos guiding everything.
And with a philosophy like that, it helps to know who was actually steering the ship. Who were the key leaders at Markel in 92, and what did their roles tell us?
Yeah, the leadership setup itself, it really speaks volumes. You had Steve Markel as vice chairman.
Okay.
His job was explicitly strategic planning investment activities, basically setting that long-term direction for capital.
Got it. The big picture guy.
Right. Then Daryl Martin, executive VP and CFO. He was overseeing all the corporate accounting, treasury, financial operations, ensuring the rigor.
The details guy.
Pretty much. And then Alan Firthmeyer, chairman and CEO. He handled corporate marketing, human resources, and really fostered what they called a merit-style culture.
Merit style. What did that entail?
Well, it seems it was about promoting an environment where expertise and performance were really rewarded, aligning people with those long-term company goals.
So clear roles, focus on internal talent. Sounds like they really believed in their people as a core asset.
Absolutely. Not just a cost. It was all geared towards stability, long-term success.
And they definitely needed that strong foundation given what was happening outside the company.
Yeah.
What were some of those big challenges the whole insurance industry was facing in 92, according to the letter?
Oh, the letter paints a pretty grim picture, actually.
Yeah.
It flat out says the industry return on equity, a key profit measure for investors, had been declining for 5 straight years.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah. Plus, intense competition and what they called an unusual number of headline-stopping problems.
Like what?
Well, these problems were causing widespread issues with loss reserves being inadequate across the industry. It sounds like a really tough time to be an insurer.
Okay, so amidst all that industry turmoil, how did Markel position itself? Do they just go with the flow or try something different?
That's a crucial point. They really doubled down on their commitment to the long term. Even if it meant, their short-term results didn't look quite as shiny as maybe some others. They explicitly said chasing premium growth just for the sake of growth in that environment. That was a losing game, a mistake others were making.
So discipline when others were maybe losing theirs? Patience?
Exactly. Trusting that their approach would pay off eventually.
Okay, so we've set the stage, the tough industry, Markel's core principles. Now let's see how that translated into their finances. Let's dive into the specifics. Starting with their investments, how did they manage their portfolio in 92?
Well, it's quite striking how their investment philosophy mirrors those core values we talked about.
How so?
Their total portfolio was about $442 million. But look at the breakdown. A huge chunk, $290 million, was in fixed income.
Okay, bonds mainly.
Right. Another $116 million in tax-exempt securities, also fairly conservative. Equities, so stocks, were only $74 million. A smaller piece, but still there as a long-term bet.
So it's definitely not chasing risky, high-flying stocks.
No. This allocation, it wasn't just about spreading risk. It felt like a very deliberate, patient choice. Prioritizing capital preservation, stable returns, kind of the opposite of chasing market fads.
Willing to accept maybe lower returns short-term for that long-term stability.
Precisely.
That definitely shows the conservative side. Which makes me think about loss reserves. For insurers, that's critical. How did the letter talk about managing those liabilities?
Oh, they absolutely stressed how vital adequate loss reserves were, called them crucial liabilities, their future promises to policyholders.
And how do they calculate them?
They said it was based on actual obligations using precise actuarial and mathematical methods. No guesswork.
Right.
And what's more, 1992 was the 5th year in a row they'd set the standard for future liabilities, always aiming for a conservative level.
Making sure they wouldn't be caught short.
Exactly. It shows this really deep commitment to financial prudence, being upfront about it, too.
Do you recall the actual number for loss reserves in 92 compared to 91?
Yeah, let me see. In 1992, it was $346 million. That was actually down slightly from $353 million the year before.
Okay.
And they also made a point of saying an independent expert had reviewed their reserves and found them to be adequate. More than adequate, actually.
That external validation adds quite a bit of credibility, doesn't it?
It really does. Shows they weren't just marking their own homework.
Okay, so reserves handled carefully.
Right.
What about their other big financial commitment debt? Especially in a tough year, did they manage to reduce their long-term debt?
Yes, they did. And again, it seemed very intentional. Long-term debt was $127 million back in December 1990. They actively brought that down to $101 million by September 92 and kept it there through year-end.
Except chipping away at leverage.
Exactly. Reducing leverage was a stated goal. They also had a $70 million revolving credit facility, kind of like a corporate credit card, with about $34 million drawn down in December 92.
So managing debt proactively, another sign of that conservative capital approach.
Definitely. Financial discipline, even when the market was difficult.
Okay, now for something really interesting. 1992 wasn't just tough economically. It had those major catastrophic events. Huge for the insurance industry. How did those hit Markel directly? And what was their reaction?
Yeah, the letter is surprisingly open about this. Doesn't shy away from bad news.
Like what?
It specifically mentions significant losses, $16.5 million total from Hurricane Andrew.
Andrew, right. Devastating.
And Hurricane Nikki in Hawaii. These were massive headline news disasters.
So $16.5 million in losses from those alone. That's a big hit.
A very big hit. But here's the thing. Despite those large losses, the letter reiterated their expansion strategy.
Really? Even after taking that hit?
Yeah. It signals this deep resilience in their business model, a real long-term perspective. They weren't going to be knocked off course by short-term pain, even substantial pain like that.
Wow.
They saw it as, well, part of the business, unfortunately, and stayed focused on their strategy. That level of transparency about challenges while still showing resolve, that's quite telling.
Okay, let's try and tie some of these threads together.
Oh.
We've seen the tough market, the specific financial hits, the conservative management. What does this all say about their core philosophy, especially that famous Markel underwriting discipline?
Well, it really makes you think about how they connected underwriting directly to shareholder returns, right? The letter hammers home that strict underwriting discipline was just paramount, especially with all that competition and falling industry profits.
So no chasing business just to get bigger.
Absolutely not. They explicitly warned against that temptation, chasing premium growth. Instead, the focus was laser sharp. Carefully pick your risks, get the pricing right, and manage claims diligently.
That conservative underwriting was really the bedrock, wasn't it?
Undeniably central to their whole strategy. A principle they just wouldn't compromise on, even if it meant being different from the crowd.
It really sounds like a counter-cyclical mindset, resisting that herd mentality. How did that philosophy filter through to, say, their management style and the overall company culture?
Well, you see it in that leadership structure we talked about. Steve Markel, Daryl Martin, Alan Firthmeyer. Clear roles, all seemingly aligned with those core values.
Right, the merit style.
Exactly. That culture, fostered by Firthmeyer, emphasizing expertise, internal talent, cultivating the right people for that long-term vision.
And the transparency aspect seems key, too.
Crucially, they were open about industry struggles, even their own big losses. That encourages critical thinking, not just feeding shareholders good news.
So integrity, clear vision, discipline. It sounds like a potent combination for building long-term value.
Based on trust and competence, yeah.
So for you, our listener,
Yeah.
trying to grab some actionable insights here, why is understanding how Markel operated back in 1992 still relevant today? The world's so different now.
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, Markel's 92 letter, it offers these really powerful, timeless lessons.
Like what?
Like resilience in business models, the importance of having a steadfast philosophy. In today's world, we're just drowning in information, short-term news, instant reaction.
Yeah, it's noisy.
Very noisy. So Markel's clear, consistent message from way back then about patience, discipline, capital use, conservative management, it provides this invaluable framework.
A way to cut through the noise.
Exactly. It shows the huge value of not getting overwhelmed by the short-term chatter, but focusing on those fundamental principles that drive real, lasting success, no matter the market conditions.
Principles anyone could apply, really, whether in markets or just personal decisions.
I think so. That long-term view is powerful anywhere.
Okay, so reflecting on this whole deep dive into the 1992 letter, what are maybe the top 2 or 3 timeless lessons that really stand out for you personally?
For me, number one has to be that unwavering commitment to a long-term perspective. It's just everywhere.
In investments and operations.
Yeah. Equities were a long play. Short-term insurance results were secondary to keeping that underwriting discipline strong over time. They were truly willing to accept short-term pain, like those hurricane losses, for long-term gain and stability.
That patience is rare.
So rare and so powerful.
And the conservative management just seems like the absolute backbone, doesn't
Whoa,
it?
absolutely. You see it in how meticulous they were with loss reserves, making sure they were adequate, getting them checked by outsiders.
Right.
And in actively reducing their long-term debt. It just highlights that financial strength, that prudence. It's not just nice to have. It's the cornerstone for getting through cycles and weathering unexpected storms, literal or figurative.
Building a financial fortress.
That's a good way to put it, not a house of cards.
And then finally, that underwriting discipline. It's such a classic Markel trait. Echoes through everything they do.
Indeed. That letter is such a potent reminder, especially in insurance, but really anywhere. Don't fall into the trap of just chasing growth.
Focus on quality, not just quantity.
Exactly. Focus rigorously on selecting risks carefully, pricing them properly. That's fundamental to being profitable sustainably. It's a core lesson for any business, really.
Know what you're good at, stick to it.
Right. Don't get swayed by competitors or fads or market pressure. Know your strengths, know your limits, and excel there.
What a fascinating look back. This deep dive into Markel's 1992 shareholder letter really shows how that philosophy, long-term thinking, conservative management, disciplined underwriting, guided them through a seriously tough year.
And these aren't just, historical footnotes. They feel like foundational principles. The reason Markel has thrived for so long. And that honesty, that candor about the industry's problems, even their own big losses from Andrew, it just underscores how valuable transparency and critical self-assessment are in business, things we maybe don't see enough of today.
That's a great point. So as you reflect on this, here's a final thought to consider. How much more resilient, maybe more successful, could your own decisions, personal, professional, whatever, become if you truly embraced just one of Markel's core principles? Whether it's that long-term patience or conservative resource management or just disciplined execution, especially when facing today's uncertainties. We hope this deep dive helps you connect those dots.